Did you realize that most people's New Year's resolutions are gonna whittle away to nothing by February? Well, I wanna show you how to prevent that from happening in your life and in your business. Hey guys, welcome back to #Winning. Uriel Kim here, and it's a new year. We're 2024. I hope you had an amazing New Year's and amazing holiday season. And I want to share this video with you because if you've been in this space for a long time, right, helping people improve their health, transform their life, etc., you've probably recognized that many people talk about the fact that they want to get started January 1st, right? So, and maybe you can relate that as well for yourself, right? I know I can. Back in the day, and I always used to use January 1st as like kind of the reset. And then I realized, well, why would I wait for one day of the year to reset when I can maybe do that more consistently? So what I want to share with you here is really the mindset of how not to fall into the holiday trap, or how not to fall into the I will get things going on that specific day trap, because the reality is that there's never a perfect time, and we use these little dates, whether it's September 1st after the summer or January 1st after the holidays. We use these dates as convenient excuses for not moving forward on a consistent basis towards our bigger goals. So my whole premise with New Year's is I don't celebrate it. I mean, it's not that I'm like anti-New Year's, but what I did for New Year's this year was I worked out in the morning, I hung out with the kids, we went for a 7-kilometer forest walk, which was awesome, nice misty, rainy day, and then we came back home and we made some crepes. I love making crepes occasionally, so we had a really nice dinner, and then we hung out, watched a movie, and then I was in bed, fast asleep by 9:30. So that was my New Year's. Now, what's interesting about that day is it's pretty much the same as every other day in my life. Now, I'm not saying you have to copy what I do, and maybe you don't even agree with that whole approach, and that's totally fine. But I share this with you because, obviously back in the day, I would go out, watch fireworks, stay up till 2 a.m. I've been through that journey. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but at this stage of my life, I just don't see the need to do that. Okay, I don't really, buy into the holidays and all the nonsense. I'm like, every day is a holiday. Every day feels like Christmas for me. I don't need to wake up Christmas morning to be like, oh my God, this is the day. I feel like that every single day. So what happens, I want to talk about a couple things here. I want to talk about inertia, momentum, and consistency. And I want you to think about this for your specific situation, like your business, but also your clients. And before I dive into that, today's episode is sponsored by Nespresso. Not really. I have no affiliation to Nespresso. I just appreciate the fact that they make coffee a lot easier. If you're into Nespresso, let me know as well. Let me know what your favorite pod or coffee is. I like the Tokyo Lungo, which is with Nespresso. Anyways, so let's talk about what typically happens over the holiday season. So statistically, most North Americans gain about 2 pounds over the holidays, right? So 6 weeks from Thanksgiving to New Year's, on average, 2-pound weight gain. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's not if you lose it. But I want you to think about something. Most people are not healthy, right? They're not in good shape. When I was in Mexico a couple months ago, I was kind of astonished, like how many overweight people there are. And when you think about how this happens, let's just say that over the holidays, we gained 2 pounds. And let's say that we never actually lost that weight, but we just maintained after that. You do that for 10 years, that's 20 extra pounds. You wake up one morning, you're like, what the hell happened to my body? And it wasn't anything drastic. We just let ourselves slide 1% at a time. And what I want to encourage you instead is to think about how you can improve 1% at a time, as opposed to having momentum in the complete opposite direction and then waiting for January 1st to somehow magically all of a sudden have this unstoppable commitments and habits that's going to move you in the right direction. And the reason most people don't maintain the resolutions is the very same reason that most people who win the lottery lose it all, is they have not become the type of person they need to be to have what it is that they want. So we gain some weight over the holidays. January 1st, we're like, all right, I'm going to get in shape this year. Oh shit, this is hard. My body's sore. I got to change things. I have to do new things. I don't like this. Guess what? I'm going to stop. And this is what happens statistically. It's like 90% of New Year's resolutions fall off the cliff by February. And this is the fundamental reason why most people do not win in life. This is #winning. That's what we're all about here, is helping you win in life. And it's not about, I'm going to start fresh on this specific date. It's a cop-out, it's an excuse, and it's not how winners think, okay? So I want you to think about the importance of inertia or momentum. So let's look at the example of the holiday season. In the States, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 6 weeks apart, you've thrown some holiday parties, New Year's Eve, drinking, food, all that good stuff. Lindor chocolates, Ferrero Rocher, pack it on, pack it on, pack it on. Even without the weight gain, let's just think of the habits. And I've fallen into this before. I mean, I remember, and thank God this year my wife didn't bring chocolates into the house, because normally she'd in the past, she'd buy those big containers of Ferrero Rochers, those holiday size ones, and they'd just sit in the coffee area. And I'm like, they're just sitting there, one a day. And before you know it, the whole thing's gone. It's like, well, they didn't go in the garbage. They went inside my body. And if you think about that habit, that's a habit. And if I build that habit as opposed to something more positive, then it's going to be a lot harder for me to change that when I want to change. So the reason why I don't think it's a good idea to have one set date to all of a sudden magically change is because the inertia is moving in the complete opposite direction. If you say, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to work out for 2 months, I'm just going to enjoy the holidays, and then somehow magically expect yourself to go from that inertia or that momentum of doing nothing, laying on the couch and bad eating habits, to somehow all of a sudden being the world's most disciplined, committed fitness enthusiast, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless you have a tremendous amount of leverage over top of you, okay? Because you have momentum working against you. It's like you have packed on, you have a knapsack on, and you've put in all these stones and rocks, and they've just piled on and piled on and piled on. And now January 1st comes, and you're about to walk up this hill. This hill is the transformation you want to make. And again, I'm talking in this context of fitness and health, but think about it from your business as well. Whatever context is meaningful to you, you're going to walk up a hill. You have to change the way you're doing things, okay? But now what's happening is most people have packed on a lot of weight in that backpack from inertia in the wrong direction over the past couple of weeks and months. So now what's going to be easier? Is it going to be easier to walk up the hill by itself? Or is it going to be easier to walk up the hill and with an additional 20, 30, 40 pounds of rocks in the knapsack? The answer is obvious. So what I want to get through to you here is don't even get the knapsack filled up in the first place. And some people talk about the holiday season as separation season. While everyone's coasting, taking their foot off the gas pedal, winners like us, we just keep moving forward. The same thing happens in the summertime. It's the same thing. Most people check out. Right? They're like, I'm going to take a break. What do you have to take a break from? If you love what you're doing, why are you so tired? Why are you so burnt out? I work more now than I did when I was a burnt out, underpaid personal trainer. And I feel more energized and refreshed. So I tell people, I've told you before, I work 7 days a week, Saturdays and Sundays, Christmas morning, every single day I work. You might say you're crazy. I'm like, no, I love what I do. And let me just be very clear with you. I don't compromise family time. On Christmas, I'm putting in an hour on my computer doing some stuff, and then the kids are up, boom, family time. But I'm never taking 2 weeks off and I'm not turning my computer on or checking in. It's not that I have to, it's that I want to. And if I have big goals, you can't just not do anything. If you want to improve your body, your fitness, your health, you don't just take 2 weeks off and somehow all of a sudden think it's going to just come back. The human body is amazing and it's frustrating. You've probably realized this. It is so specific. So for instance, if you've been doing lunge walks, every time you work out, and all of a sudden you start doing squats, your body's going to be like, what the hell is happening? And you're going to feel sore. It's going to be like you've never done legs ever before. And that's because the body is so specific to how it adapts based on how it's trained. So I share this with you because if you are doing something you love to do, why do you need to take time off? Why do you need to wait for one specific day to change everything? Just make those small improvements every day. December 31st, I'm gonna sit down and map out all my goals and do my vision board for the new year. Why don't you do that every week? Why don't you review that every day? This is the difference. This is what I'm trying to get across, is you don't use one time a year to set your goals. You set your goals however frequently you want, minimum once a year, but you got to review them every single day. You got to review what you're working on, what's working, what are you learning on a weekly basis, because you have frequent touch points with your own progress, and you can course correct, you can pivot, you can change, you can make adjustments. But the key is that the foot is always on the accelerator. We're never turning the car off off and letting it sit idle. We're moving forward. One of the most important things we can do as humans is forward progress. Tony Robbins talks about this. People feel happiest when they're making progress. If you're sitting in traffic, it's not a lot of fun because you're not moving anywhere. It's like, I don't know about you, but I would rather get off the highway, take a longer route just because I'm making progress. And it's the same thing here. Don't put the car in idle, wait for 2 months, and then all of a sudden magically think it's going to work beautifully when you kick it up again. And the car in this case being you, your intentions, your commitments, all that stuff. I had a friend a little while ago, we were having dinner, and he said that he just hired a trainer. And he was asking, and he's you probably know who he is because he's got a very, very successful, well-known book, but I'll just keep that as a secret so I don't point the finger at him on this one. Love you. So he said, I just hired a trainer. And he asked me, how long should I commit to this trainer for? And I told him, for your whole life. Just commit to your whole life, not 3 months, not 6 months, until you die. I told my trainer this actually a little while ago because we had our 6-month check-in. And he's like, how's everything going? Like, do you want to keep? I'm like, dude, I have no intention of stopping. Like, I will stop when I'm dead. I'm committed to this. We're doing this because it's the most important thing in my life. So I don't wait for New Year's to start working out. I work out every single day in some way, shape, or form. Before this video, I actually went for a nice 20-minute run by the water. It was great, and I'm not saying that has to be like every single day, but we have to be doing something every day toward what we want to achieve. We're not expecting us to wake up one morning and magically be like, you know what, this is the day it's all going to change, because it's not. You haven't become who you need to be consistent enough with what you need to do to get where you want to go. So inertia and momentum, kind of synonymous words, very important. And the second thing that I just want to touch on here is consistency, right? Consistency is everything. And you can't be consistent if you take several weeks off and then wait for one day to start up again. You can't be consistent, or I wouldn't consider you to be consistent, if you take the whole summer off and you're like, you know what, I'll start up in September. Don't be that person, okay? And again, I want you to think about this conversation as it pertains to what you're doing in your business, because I see this all the time. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm going to get things serious again. And as soon as you say I'm going to make this a priority for myself in X number of months, or I'm like, too bad. I know exactly where your business is, because the most successful people I know, they don't stop. They don't take time off because they understand the consequences of doing so. Not from a place of fear and scarcity, but because why would you stop doing what's working, that you love to do, that's moving forward with something, that's helping people, that's making your body better? You don't ever stop. When you stop, die, okay? And again, please understand that I'm not talking about grinding away and overworking and doing all this kind of stuff. I'm just saying move forward every single day in some way, shape, or form. Don't expect one day for the switch to magically flip on, right? New year, new you, like we've heard that before. No, it's new year, same you, but 1% better if you choose it to be, okay? So if you think, if you're kind of picking up what I'm throwing down, let me know in the comments here if you're agreeing with me here. If you don't, that's totally fine as well. I'd love to know your thoughts as well. Let me know in the comments if you're on the same page or not. I'd love to know your thoughts on this, whether New Year's, that one singular day, is the pivot point for most people, or if you just agree that it's about commitment, being consistent, building that momentum on a daily basis if you truly care about reaching your goals. So, hope you have a great start to the new year. I look forward to seeing you crush your goals this year. Thanks for hanging out with me once again, and I'll see you in our next video. Last week, I was just in Nashville hanging out with 4 really good friends. Half of them are direct competitors to our business. Now, I say that because I don't really consider anyone a competition. You might say, why on earth would I hang out with 3 of my direct competitors and share my coveted secrets with them?